you and I know, if you've hosted people in this era, you know the problems that go into trying to serve more than 4 people at the same table, because there will certainly be some people who can eat everything. Other people have chosen a vegetarian or keto or paleo or other form of diet. Others who have to be gluten-free or have allergies. We are in a period in cultural history when it's hard to sit down at the same table and eat the same food. Right? That's our form of food confusion. For Paul, it had to do with kosher. With the Roman community, which we've already found, Paul has Jewish Christianity on his mind. He spent 9 through 11 trying to figure out Jewish Christianity and Jewish non-Christianity and how they are a part of what God is up to in the world. Here we get to a very practical issue of the fact that in Rome, in the churches in Rome, there are Jewish Christians and Gentile Christians. The Jewish Christians have, like Paul, abandoned kosher, or have not, like others he talks to in his letters, have not abandoned kosher. So what are you going to do about that? If you're Paul, are you going to say, if you really grow up and be fully Christian, you'll be like me? I mean, you people who still have scruples, not so much. And that's one option. He could belittle them and say that what they're doing is wrong, and that the real project with food is for everybody to get where Paul gets. He doesn't do that. Let's look at what he does. In 14:1 through 4, accept the one whose faith is weak without quarreling over disputable matters. One person's faith allows them to eat anything, but another whose faith is weak eats only vegetables. The one who eats everything must not treat with contempt the one who does not, and the one who does not eat everything must not judge the one who does, for God has accepted them. Who are you to judge someone else's servant? Now notice here, Paul is talking about judging God's servants. Who are you to judge someone else's servants? To their own master, servants stand or fall, and they will stand, for the Lord is able to make them stand. Now, notice there are 2 things going on here. First, in that little layout of what Paul's possibilities are, his options, I told you he could belittle and say, you're bad if you do that, turn into this good thing. He hasn't done all of that, but he has said strong people don't have the problem. Weak people, people of weak faith, still consider some food as off limits. Right? So he has done both things that I started the discussion naming as options. He hasn't said, your job is to become like me. He has said, this step in faith is not quite fully strong, right? And the irony here is that as he has in this letter pieced through how to fit Jewish Christians and Gentile Christians together, one might think that the Jewish Christians started 200 yards ahead in a 400-yard race, right? We might think the Jewish Christians would be the strong because they have Abraham and they have the Mosaic law and they have the tradition and they have the prophets. But here, some of the Jewish Christians who have scruples about food are among what Paul calls the weaker, right? What do you imagine he's doing? Is he trying to invert an existing Jewish Christian power position? Is he trying to undermine things that might distinguish? We've been seeing him do that all along. So putting the scrupulous people on the side of the weak may be Paul's way of saying, we're all on equal footing, but in this issue, you're a little behind in getting around to full, faithful, gracious life. Right? Have any of you sat at a table with vegetarians and eaten meat and felt the sneer? Right? Or vice versa. You're a vegetarian and you're amidst a bunch of carnivores and you feel sort of poo-pooed, right? I think Paul pictures that going on in the tables that he's imagining in Rome. And so he steps in and he says, here's all I need you to do. Don't judge each other.